to another edition of The Naked Truth. I'm your host, Ramon Roan, and
my name is John Singletary.
And today we're going to be talking about the filming of Black Wall Street. The Black Wall Street was a vibrant community back in 1921 where it had a riot. That riot resulted in thousands of people were being killed, and we're talking about we're going to be reading here soon some of the things about Black Wall Street, but it was one of the hallmarks, I would say, that of coming out of slavery to where we're at, where we're at today. And some of the things that we looked at was we always used the example of we need to have another Black Wall Street.
Absolutely. I mean, there were several black communities, and movies done of some of where people were uniting, but the epitome of what they all strive for was Black Wall Street in Tulsa. Of course, I remember coming up the song by the Gap Band, "You Dropped the Bomb on Me," and that's what it was about. It was about Tulsa and how they bombed Black Wall Street. When we look at Rosewood, there are a lot of different places where they had blacks who attempted to unite, and it's nothing different than what we can do today.
Nothing different.
We try to educate our people so that they can unite and recirculate dollars, which gives economic empowerment. That's the thing that they did then. They were able to bring it to fruition.
Right.
We have an opportunity and still should do the same thing today.
I mean, we used that during the your campaign for mayor of North Charleston. We used the example saying that if African Americans got together, here's what can happen. Because we saw what happened in 1921 in Tulsa. We saw what happened there. And we can do the same thing today. And so when we look at, be it North Charleston or be it Valdosta, Georgia, 51%, 50%. You can see that. Well, John Legend is teaming up with WGN America to bring a real life story of the Black Wall Street to television, and I think it's very important for black people to know their history. And we often look at we can find it on YouTube, we can find it in books and everything, but it's sometimes some people just won't pick up a book.
Right. Nothing like it being on the big screen.
Nothing about it.
And there's nothing like seeing and knowing that it happened, which means that it can happen again.
Right.
And
well, we don't want the race riot to happen again.
No.
But we want that environment.
In terms of the environment where blacks strive and they recirculate their own dollars and they are self-sufficient, independently wealthy. That kind of thing we want to be able to replicate throughout the country.
Right now, speaking of the dollar in Tulsa, it was circulated 36 to 100 times in this tight-knit community. They said that in your single dollar might have stayed in Tulsa for almost a year before leaving that community. That, if you compare that to the Asian community, it lasts for a month. In the Jewish community, it lasts for 20 days. And while in communities, in white communities, it lasts for 17 days. But it leaves the African American community in 6 hours.
But see, that's a talk thing.
Yeah,
when we take a look at, for instance, in South Carolina, Charleston County. Charleston County has EBT alone, $30 million. $30 million in EBT money that goes through Charleston County. And for the portion that comes through the African American hands, it goes in 6 hours, like you said, right back to someone else. $30 million. And so what we have to do is we have to be able to harness the power that we have, that we allow to slip away.
Right. Speaking of luxury possessions, in that time, the entire state had like 2 airports. But you had families in this community, 6 families that had their own airplane. And there was a Dr. Berry who owned a bus system in Tulsa. And he said that in 1910 that he was averaging $500 a day on his bus system.
I can believe it.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
2 hospitals, 30 grocery stores, on and on.
Yep, sure enough. Sure enough.
In North Charleston here, one of the things we talked about during the campaign was that we didn't even have not only a grocery store, but a hospital either.
Right.
And we are the largest city of African Americans in the entire state. Not one hospital that is a public hospital in North Charleston. The one that's here is private. We don't have a grocery store in our black community of any size. We've got small mom and pops. But and even when the opportunity came to put the grocery store there, not only did they not do it, but they took steps to ensure that we didn't have a grocery store in our community. That way you have to not only buy gas, ride the bus to go and get your nutrition, but you're going to someone else's community to do it, strengthening their community.
On this, about the killing, by the murder, we call it murder in Tulsa, was that it's unknown for the amount of people that were actually killed. The number I have, first number I got was like 30 people, 300 people. Then the number I got was more like 3,000 people that died. That was killed in this race riot. And I think that one thing is we often say, why don't we resurrect? Why don't we have another Black Wall Street? And you and I talked about this often, was what integration caused the decline of many of our black businesses. Integration.
The way it was held, the way we handled integration, in some respects, caused a collapse of many of the things that we should have held on to.
That's right.
Our black businesses.
Look at you said 30 black, let me cut you off, but 30 black grocery stores.
Right. When you're forced to be able to deal with each other, then we can do it just like any other race.
Right.
While there were, I guess, pros and cons, good and bad, that came out of integration. The integration itself is neither good nor bad.
Right.
Like a weapon is neither good nor bad. It's how the person uses it. And when you come to the table as an individual or as a race of people, and there is a mutual respect for you because you are independent to start with, then we can partner and do something that benefits both races.
Right.
But when you come to the table and automatically the opposing party feels that they have the upper hand or you're begging, at best you become a bad imitation of your opposition. Yeah. And that's what happened to us in a lot of respects.
Yeah, I said that it could not survive. They tried to bring it back, but in the 50s began the enticement of blacks going because the desegregation, integration caused it just to go down. Never was able to recover from the loss and with desegregation. Yeah. Well, when the movie does come out, I will be watching it.
Absolutely.
And, we'll be watching. I'm a history buff. I love studying history. And we want to learn from our history. No doubt about it. We want to learn from it. But please watch it. This is one project that was brought on by the singer and musician John Legend. And let's support our black filmmakers.
A great collaboration.
Yep, sure enough it is. Well, we want to thank you for listening, watching this YouTube channel. Please subscribe, please like, and please share. And if you would like to leave a comment, please leave a comment as John and I bring you more of these type videos and informing you, our listeners and subscribers. Once again, we thank you for listening to, watching The Naked Truth.